Hello, this is the third movie for day 4. We're going to talk about fear of the unknown. This is easily one of the two top fears that we all deal with. In fact, we only ever deal with two fears: fear of loss and fear of the unknown. So, when you are dealing with a fear of the unknown, this is one of the primary malfunctions of the fear system. We are actually programmed to enjoy the unknown. When you look at a toddler, and I give this example in the second video, however, there's a good chance I'm going to be deleting that video and throwing it away. So I'm not sure yet, even if I'm going to show it to you. So I'm just going to give you the example again. In the example that I presented, you have a child next to their mother, and their mother is the comfort zone. You have about 3 feet of comfort zone. And then every time you step out of that 3 feet of space, you enter into the growth stage. The growth stage is the excitement adventure stage. You don't know what is beyond the 3-foot space of mother. You just know that it's exciting and it's adventurous and it's thrilling. And you are so caught up in the adventure and the fun that you get an adrenaline rush. And then you get fear because you went too far and you realize you're actually 8 feet and now you're in the fear zone and you come running back to mother for the comfort. You come back to the love. So it's like you have love. And then you have the space of unknown, which is adventure and excitement. And then you have fear. And as you get older, that expands and expands. And it's supposed to expand in a very healthy growth fashion. But that's not what happens. In most cases, something trips in our brains, the fear system is unleashed, and the fear of the unknown begins to develop. Suddenly, that space between comfort zone, love, and fear vanishes. And then your options are comfort, fear of the unknown, and you don't look beyond that. So you get stuck in this comfort zone. The only way you can get back into venturing out is if you restore identity, restore love, restore who you are, redefine love. Once you develop, we're going to take you right back to infancy. That is the self-care regimen. We're going to have to take you right back to infancy. You're basically going to develop your comfort zone, but you're going to build your comfort zone off of love, what you love and who you are. Once that gets loud enough, then you can bring your defense system back in, your vocals, your voice, your opinions and your feelings. But you're in your comfort zone, so you should be safe and it's not a problem. You're going to carve out a psychologically safe place. This is what I call a healing home. This is what I did. I remember now. This is the healing garden. My partner gave me his home, which was my safe place. It was my comfort zone. And in that comfort zone, I discovered what I loved again. I discovered who I was again. And I discovered the adventure of wandering outside of that. And that allowed me the safety to heal. That is a healing garden. That is a healing home. And that's pretty much what you are going to recreate. You already have a comfort zone, but it's time to turn your prison into a healing garden. So in order to do that, my God, I am loving this because it feels so right. We're going to turn your comfort zone into a healing garden. Before you venture into the unknown and you start going on your adventures, you are going to have to start nurturing your defense system. And you are going to have to start nurturing who you are and what you love. Now, there is a difference between The routine that you normally do, just a moment. There's the routine that you normally do, and that reiterates that you're in danger. And then there's doing things that you really enjoy doing that celebrates who you are. So this is not mindless habit. This is intentional. This is intentional celebration of yourself. This must be deliberate, mindful, and intentional self-love. So for an example, I have the books I love, the music I love, the movies I love, the food I love. 4 to 5. And every day, especially around 7 o'clock at night, I have to engage with all of them. I mean, I cook or I bake cookies while I'm listening to opera, while I'm dancing. And then I go into the bedroom and I take my music with me. And I have the music while I'm eating my favorite food, while I'm playing a video game, one of my favorite video games. And I am doing this to remind myself of all the things I love to celebrate the self. So you need to find 5 things, and you need to carve out time every day on purpose to deliberately do these things. They must be on purpose. They must be with intent. Absolutely. It is also very important that you say, and you take out this time to say, I'm doing me time, and you do not feel guilt about this. While you do this, I have a self-care carousel that I put together on Facebook, and I'm huge on giving this to people. And in fact, that's been your assignment from days 1, 2, and 3, and now it's going to be day 4. This is why. Your gratitude journal. Gratitude is an emotion that is very closely linked to love. So every time you really sit down and think about what you are grateful for, you are actually plugging into your love without realizing it. This is why gratitude journals are so important. Same thing with I am statements. I am happy. I am love. I am a dancer. I am a baker. I am the queen of the darkness. I am the Fey Queen. I am imagination. These I am statements define you. So we're going to go back to what the ego is, what the self is, what identity is. Identity's agenda is to define the self. People who suffer from trauma and who struggle with mental illness have an undefined self. So your purpose for any self-care regimen is to define the self. This is your homework. This is your assignment. This is all you're going to be doing. You must every day redefine yourself. And you're going to do this on purpose in your comfort zone for 40 days. And every day when you do this on purpose, and if you do it exactly the way I say, and I do mean it, like 5 things that are yours, that define you, and you do them every single day, and you combine this with the journaling, the I am statements, the gratitude journaling, and the meditation, and the bucket list that are your dreams. What did you want to do? Where did you want to go? Go back to when you were 5 and 10. What did you want to be when you grew up? Remember the conversations you had. When you were 5 to 10 years old, you had the world all figured out. You really did. You had your identity all figured out when you were 5 and 10 years old. Everyone you were going to be, God, this is such psych. This is like Psych 101. Oh my, this is Carl Jung stuff. This is like, the self is defined by the time you reach 8 years old. Truly, it really is. This is what they mean. Your identity is defined by the time you are 8 years old. Now, if you live in a healthy environment with no trauma, then that identity is celebrated and nourished. That's good parenting. If your identity was mocked, laughed at, or abused, well, that's bad parenting. If you experienced trauma, discouragement, failure, anything that caused you to abandon your identity is still there unchanged. You need to remember. What a lot of people go through is when they reach their 30s, 40s, there's this massive step back and evaluate your life. Are you where you wanted to be 10 years ago? When you said, when I grow up, I want to be X, there's this huge moment in our lives when we hit 30 and then 40 and then 50, where we step back and we just go, how does my life look right now? And if it does not align with what you wanted when you were 5 and 10 years old, you're either going to get really fucking mad, midlife crisis, or you're going to get really fucking depressed. I got really fucking mad. I got really mad when I was approaching 40. In fact, in 2020, when my life went to shit, I had hit 40. And I went, fuck this shit. I'm going to New York because I was going to go get the life that I wanted. I'm going to go get my life. I got angry. Some people get depressed. It really depends on your personality style. That is really it's a recovery of the self. So you have your comfort zone, your very toxic, limiting, comforting zone right now. So we're going to turn your comfort zone into a healing garden. And you are going to fill your healing garden with a formula and with products, assignments, and things that celebrate you. And you're going to do this for 40 days every day. If you purchase this program, you have the option to sign up for a monthly membership where you can continue this program month after month. And you can join my group called Journey into the Self. This group is literally a daily membership group where you get to, it's literally me like pushing you on saying, did you do this? Did you do this? Make sure you do this. And it's like, I'm an accountability buddy, basically, where I do the same work you're doing. And because after you do 40 days of this, I'm actually going to tell you, good, now do it for the rest of your life. Because that's life. That's it. My self-care regimen is not a healing garden cure that you're going to temporarily use. It's your new lifestyle that celebrates who and what you are. So it's not do it for 40 days. You're going to do it for the rest of your life. But that might be overwhelming right now. What happens is after 2 weeks, you get excited. After 4 weeks, you want to go out and you, just like a child who's learned that the 3-foot expanse of their mother is now too small and you want to expand to 6 feet. You're going to want the same thing. You're going to want the adventure. The excitement's going to come back. You're going to start imagining your next adventure, and your world is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That is what's supposed to happen. But you never developed and nurtured self-love for that to take place. That is the piece that is missing. There is supposed to be nurturing the self, growing the self out, and then getting excited for the next adventure, playing around with the unknown and the adventure, and then it gets bigger and bigger, and your world gets bigger and bigger, and suddenly you can board a plane and you can go across the world and you don't know what's waiting for you, and you are excited about the unknown that's waiting for you on the other side of the planet. And there is no fear anymore. Now, while you're doing this, we're also going to work on your defense system, using your voice and implementing that. But for now, you're just going to start turning your comfort zone into your very own healing garden. And we're going to start filling it with everything you love. Now, while this is going on, we're going to start working with Jerry. Soothe the Jerry, validate and reassure, just like a mother would. Yes, Jerry, yes, I know you're scared. I know you're worried. I know you feel hopeless. It's going to be okay. Reassure, soothe, validate. Celebrate the self, explore, discover. You've got your healing garden. You have your comfort zone. Heal yourself. Get to know identity. Pull her out of your core. Meditate. Have a conversation with her. It's gonna feel weird because you have not done this before. You're strangers. It's like the first time you meditate is sitting down to have tea with your Aunt Sue, and it feels weird. And after 30 days, you're going to be like, Sue! And you're going to grab her and you're going to have a great time. You got to get to the 3rd and 4th week, though. So treat it like that aunt that your mom said, you got to go visit your Aunt Sue. And you're like, okay. And it's going to be uncomfortable. And that's okay, because you got your security blanket. This is all in your comfort zone. But we're going to start nurturing that comfort zone and turning it into a healing garden. Okay? You got this. You really do. All right? And whenever you find something that triggers Jerry, you're going to, hey, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. And you're going to bring that down. And you're going to calm that down. I have another program. This is available free. It is located over in my playlists, and I will tag it onto here so you can have access to it. It is literally a emergency self-care. It is basically when shit hits the fan and you are in emergency mode and you need to get everything under control now. This is where, if you are struggling with PTSD, if you are struggling with constantly being triggered, I'm going to pull in that. It's a 4-video course, and it's one of my courses that's available for free. So have that available. And it basically takes everything that I've said here and it breaks it down even further, and it really dives into the ugly if you need to. But it's for emergency situations and if you really need that extra emphasis on there. So that is the overall goal that we're going to do with self-care, the soothe, reassure, validate. I'm going to have a worksheet also in just a moment. I'm going to include the worksheet and you can see how that goes. And basically, the agenda is going to be turning your comfort zone into your own healing garden. And doing that through learning what your hobbies are, learning what things you love. And if you are starting from zero and you have no idea what you love, I'm going to recommend a video game for you. If you don't like video games, okay, we're going to figure something else out. But for now, let's assume you like video games. For the video game people who love video games, we're going to focus on this for a moment. The game is called Sims. Now, I have been playing Sims since 1999 when it first released. I am the first Simmer. There's a very few number of us still out here. And it's like a great badge of honor to say, I played all of them. I did not play the second one because it was creepy. But that's when they went from 1D, one-dimensional, and they switched everything over to 3D, and they were trying, it was two-dimensional, and then they switched it over to 3D, and they hadn't figured out the text, so everything looked weird. So, Sims. Sims, when it first was made, was called the living dollhouse. Literally, you're playing with dolls. These dolls do everything. It literally does everything. But I will tell you the beautiful magic of Sims. Sims gives you the option to build you. Build you, literally. You have the ability to pick a character. It gives you the full spectrum. You can be an alien, a mermaid, a vampire, a werewolf, a woman, a man. no gender. You get to choose your entire personality. You get to choose your pronouns. You get to make up your own fictitious pronouns, which I did yesterday. I made up my fictitious pronouns. You get to choose if you want to be a man who can get pregnant or not pregnant. You can choose to be somebody who is bigender or no gender or an alien or a mermaid who gets pregnant. You can choose if you want to pee standing up, pee sitting down, or not pee at all. I am talking a full, complete design of who you want to be. So there's a magic that happens when you build your avatar. You're given this blank, and you can hit randomize down at the bottom. And don't do that. Really, pick your skin color. You can be blue. They also teamed up with Disney, specifically Star Wars. So you can be the Mandalorian or Boba Fett, which I've done, or Princess Leia. You can be Luke Skywalker or a Jedi. You can be Yoda. I have been Yoda. You can be anything. You get all of this awesome stuff on, and then you can dress them any way you want. And then you get to choose their hobbies, their career, their job, their dream life, how many friends you want. If you want to be social, not social, very social, hate people. You can do anything. You can then get a dog, a cat, many dogs, many cats and dogs, or a raccoon. You can paint your cat or your dog. We are talking about a full exploration of your likes and dislikes. Literally, the sky is the limit with this game. It's extraordinary. That being said, you throw it all together and you start playing. Now, addiction might be a concern for some people. I'm addicted to video games. I can get hooked on them too easily. We're going to talk about that because it is too easy to build this life and then just get sucked away. So we're going to talk about that because that's part of this. Now, if you struggle with addiction, if you see this as being something that you sink into, this is an exercise for you to figure out what you want. I'm going to say you get 20 hours of gameplay. Now I'm going to tell you a story. I have been playing this game since 1999. I have been playing this game the exact same way since 1999. What year are we in? 2023? The last time I played was the year 2021. 1999 to 2021. I played The Sims. I played it the same way. And then I went and I lived. From 2021 to 2023, I lived. I went out and I went backpacking through Manhattan and I built a company and I started podcasting and I got a cat and I live alone in Brooklyn with my daughter and I bake cookies and I garden and I cook and I do salsa dancing and I paint. 2 days ago, I signed on to Sims for the first time since 2021. I did this exercise. I went, what do I love? I need to remember who I am. I played video games. Let's go back to The Sims. So I sat down to play The Sims. And it felt weird at first and I felt guilt. I got off the game after 20 minutes, realized that I was playing in the middle afternoon and that's not going to work for me because I felt guilt. So then I returned to the video game at 7 o'clock that night and I felt much better. So at 7 o'clock, I went, all right, so I just need to make sure that I'm not during working hours. So I sat down with the video game at 7 o'clock and I continued to play and I started to enjoy it. I built my character, I built my life. Yesterday, I got back on the game again, second time. And immediately, it came back to me. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and this and this. And you know what I discovered? My avatar paints pictures, lives alone with her cat, gardens, cooks, does yoga and meditation, does podcasting, wait for it, and writes books. And I went, it's my life. It's my life. And I had no idea. In 1999, I started to play the game that way. I did the same thing. I talked to no one. I had no friends. I had no lover. I just had me and my cat. And I did all of the art things, and I podcasted, and I wrote books, and I changed the world with my meditation, and I podcasted, and I was like, awesome. And I did this from 1999 all the way to 2021. And then I stopped, and then I went and I lived, and I went on walkabout, and I backpacked through Manhattan. And then I put together my company, and I became a podcaster, and I built the world that I wanted, and I published books, 4 of them. And now I'm talking to my partner about painting. Like, I've sent him like 3 texts. Oh my God, I can't wait to start painting again. And I'm going to get like large canvases, and I'm going to start painting again. I stopped because my abusive husband told me that I sucked. Fuck him. But that's it. And I'm going, what the fuck? What the fuck? And then I get back in this video game to remember who I am. And I ended up looking at a mirror, and I went, son of a bitch. I stopped playing the game in 2021 and said, fuck this shit. I'm going to go build it. Subconsciously, I did this, and I did it. And now I'm doing it. So I'm going to spend my whole day living my dream life, doing my podcasts, writing my books, doing my awesomeness, doing my yoga. I'm talking to this while I'm standing on a yoga mat, by the way. And I'm just like, I'm even dressed right now exactly as my avatar is dressed in the game, barefoot and all. And I'm like, son of a bitch. The Sims literally showed me who I was. I lived vicariously through my avatar for 20 years. So I'm going to tell you, if you're worried about getting addicted, I am here to say, get off the fucking game. Let's talk about what you created on Sims. Who are you? Did you try going to college? You can do that in Sims. Did you go on adventures and go on world tours? Did you go into the tombs and dig up mummies? You can do that in The Sims. Did you go on treasure hunts and dig out stuff? Did you solve town mysteries? You can do that in Sims. What did you do? Did you get married and have kids? I did a lot of that. I'm very upset that they will not allow for polyamory. I'm working on it. There's going to be a day where they go, oh, we need to break down the patriarchy and throw up the monarchy. Like, I'm waiting for that. It's the only thing The Sims will not let you do is be anything other than monogamous. You can now be gay. They allow that now. They're finally LGBTQ. But you have to be monogamous. So I'm going to talk to them I'm going to like write a message to Sims like, dudes, can we do something about kink? Can we do something about BDSM? Can we do something about polyamory? Because hello, that's my lifestyle. It's also a PG-13 game, so I don't know if they can get into kinks and lifestyles. But if you can make woohoo in a chicken coop, and you can, why can't I do like weird shit from Pulp Fiction? So that all being said, you can even be a creepy criminal. Like, you can do anything. You can do anything. It's a beautiful game. It really is. So that is definitely something I strongly recommend, is get into the game, look at The Sims. They are up to Sims 4 now. Sims 4 is what you want to look for. And I think it's $40 for the first pack. And then you can get expansions onto that. And you don't need the expansions. You just need the first pack. So it's like $40. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to get very, very blunt and honest about this. It's like a $1,000 game once you tack on everything. And it just keeps growing. So you can easily drop like $700 to $1,000 into the game. But you don't need the seasons pack. You don't need all of it. Just focus on the primary basic, which is $40. So that being said, you really figure out who you are and what you are when you play. You see who you want to be. It really builds. You can be a scientist, you can be a doctor, you can be an attorney, you can go into chef, you bake, you can do so much. And I couldn't believe it. For 20 years, I built the same avatar. I built the same lifestyle. Single, living with a cat, living like a hippie yoga podcaster. And then I vanished from 2021 and I went off and I created that life. And when it came time for me to remember who I was, I recreated the same avatar, the same game I have been playing since 1999. And there I was, me all over again. And I went, son of a bitch, I have been this person since 1999. Buried. So if you've already played The Sims, what did you do with your character? If you've already played The Sims, who were you? What did you do? Because that's who you are. Every time you play an avatar, a video game, that is who you are. Who are you? If you are not into video games, do you write books? If you write books or you dream about a story and a character you would want to write about, that's you. I did that too with my books. I literally wrote 4 books, and in all 4 of my books, I was all the characters. I was a dream version. Every character was a dream version of me. Every one of them. Every one of them was a dream version of me. So if you're not into video games, if you want to write a book instead, what character, and you don't have to sit down and actually write the book. You're supposed to think about who would you be if you were to write a book and you were to put together a character in a book. What would you create? Now, if you cannot figure out any creation, we're back to that's because your identity is not awakened yet. You've got to wake up the identity, and we're in a catch-22. This can very easily be a catch-22. So the goal is to break that catch-22. So it's really a think back. Think back to everything. This is where you need a journal. This is where you really need to sit down and write a list of everything you have ever done in your life that made you laugh or give you joy, because your joy is who you are. Did you go to a wedding and you had a great time? That was you. Did you be crazy and go do off? There was this one time I was 15. It was the only time my brother and I got along. I mean, really got along. I was 15, maybe 14. And he knocks on my window, and I peek out of the window, and he's there with like 3 kids from school. We lived way outside of town. So to see people at my house was like, whoa. And he's like, come on, we're going into town. It's like 10 o'clock at night. And, oh yeah, sure, let's go. I was like, an adventure. So I crawled out of my bedroom window. It was my brother and I, my older brother and I. And we had like 3 kids from school. And we walked into town. It was a 5-mile walk, but we walked into town. We got to town and we did nothing. We went to the gas station and we got a Yahoo. And that is all we did. And then we walked back home. But we were tired, and it was like 3 a.m. at that point. And we were like so tired, we were drunk. We had like teenage drunk mind because we were so sleep deprived that our brain started to be funky. And it was like 2, 3 a.m. And we got into the middle of our dirt road, and we still had like 3 hours left to walk, maybe 2, but we were way tired. So the best solution, we all dropped ourselves in the middle of the road, about 7 teenagers total. We laid on our backs and we stared at the stars and we went to sleep. You can do that in the country. And we did. We all just laid there staring at the clear, gorgeous stars on our backs for a long time. I don't remember anything after that. I just remember laying in the middle of the road with all these teenagers and my brother, thinking things like, this is the best night of my life. I am laying in the middle of the road. I hope I don't die. Wow, the stars are really clear tonight. This is the best night of my life. I love adventure. That's all I remember. But it was that moment that was really, truly me. It gave me so much joy. So get out your pen. Really plug your memory. When was the last time you felt joy? What were you doing? Because every time you felt happy, every time you felt joy, that was you. That was identity waving at you, going, I'm here. That's what you want to grab onto. That is the action or the object or the hobby that you need to recreate. So if you were thinking about you dancing at a wedding when you were 10 years old, the dancing is you. If you remember a karaoke night at a birthday party, that's you. If you remember a nudist party that you went to, that's you. Anywhere you had a spike of joy. For me, it was every time I was on an adventure. I went on a lot of adventures. Like that one. That was not my first one. I had many, many adventures. So that's it. Yeah, that really is it. That really is it. So I'm going to listen back to this video and I'm going to write up an actual worksheet and go through some stuff because I think for this assignment, we really need to break it down and you need to see the worksheet and it's going to be the agenda, it's going to be the goals, and then it's going to be your assignment. And this is a lot. And we haven't even touched emotional management yet. So, yeah, this one, discovering the self it is something. It really is. It is extraordinary. Yeah, it really is. All right. So go ahead and you've got your assignment and there's a PDF form that is attached to this video that is going to include all of your assignments and everything that I just listed for this particular video for this particular day. And I don't know yet what I'm going to do as far as emotional management. I might do that tomorrow. I was going to do it today and then I was going to do something else tomorrow. But now that I'm looking at it, the emotional management might be partnered up. But either way, at the end of the day, you're going to get it all. It's going to be like the emotional management plan, and then it's going to be the shadow work. So this is a lot. I'm going to leave it here. I think this is more than enough because, yeah, we have a 30-minute video and now a 40-minute video. So this is already going to be a lot. And I know I crammed a lot into this with this massive assignment. So it's going to be 2 videos, but it's going to be a lot of really short work. And I still don't know. I have that other video that I recorded it and I'm still looking at it going, it's hypothesis, it's research. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to give it to you. The more material you have, the better. But that second video is just research and hypothesis. It's just my theory at this point. Whereas this is solid. What I give you here in this video is solid. So I'm going to say that this is more than enough. I don't want to overload you because it is so much. And I'm also going to give you access to that group that we're in, or you have the option to sign up. And the way this works is it is $100 a month. And then you get all future courses. I have monthly courses that cover triadic healing. So you get all courses for free, or well, it's included in addition to access to this group. So the group is the other half of these triadic courses. So you can purchase just the video group, or you can do the monthly membership and get both. Okay. But the group is only accessible through monthly membership. So, okay, we're going to go ahead, wrap this up. Thank you so much. All the links in the information below. I'm going to give you that to-do list so you don't have to panic. It's all going to be organized for you. All right. I will see you tomorrow. And thank you so much. May the kindest of words always find you.